When I was 18, I picked up a rebellious girl on the street who no one wanted. I tried really hard for a long time, but I could never make her feel loved. Then her crush came along, and that's when I knew she actually had a soft side, but that side wasn't for me. The day I let her go, I told her a lie that I would come back soon, and then I never did. 7 years later, we met again on a film set. She had already become the best actress in the country, and she grabbed me again. "Were you coming back soon? Where did you go?" My palms were sweaty from nerves. Vining was only 5 meters behind me. If I turned around, we would be face to face. Teacher Bay. The next scene is the reunion with the ex. It has to show longing and nostalgia. Vining let out a soft chuckle. Longing. It doesn't seem right to me. He's already an ex-boyfriend who has to be missed. Her voice was still as cold and distant as before. At 18 falls, she used that same voice to call me Xiao Yu, either softly or sternly depending on the moment. The conversation behind me continued. I didn't hear what the vice director said, but Bining Bin's distant voice came through clearly. I've already forgotten my exes. I'm not used to getting back together with someone. As someone to get back together with, I wasn't going to let her recognize me either. When the shooting was over, we would each go our separate ways. I was thinking exactly that when a co-star called out to me in a loud voice, "Xiao Yu, did you find the props?" There was silence behind me. I suddenly grabbed the props and ran away. Bining Bin didn't catch up to me. Maybe he didn't hear me, or maybe he did but didn't care. Paying no attention to what was happening around me, I said to my co-star, "Call me Xiao Fan from now on." "No, Xiao Yu." "Why does Xiao sound so nice?" "Xiao Fan sounds more professional." My colleague laughed out loud and accepted the excuse. This was my first job as an assistant director. Before I joined the team, I already knew that the lead actress was Bin Bin, a second-generation member of the entertainment industry, with access to half of the industry's resources and extraordinary acting talent. By the time she was 25, she had already won the Best Actress award, and I happened to be her first love. I debated coming, but I didn't want to miss such a great job opportunity. I promised myself that I couldn't let her find out about me because if she did, I would be finished. 7 years ago, our breakup hadn't been dignified at all. In the letter, I wrote, "I always knew you were from an influential family. I only approached you to get information from your family. I didn't really like rebellious girls at all. I like soft girls. Let's not see each other again." The more casual the words, the more humiliating my departure was. I don't know how Bingbin felt when she read that letter, but she's the type to get revenge, and if she caught me, my career could be over. Vining Bean was even more beautiful in person than she was on TV. Those genes are unbeatable. If you think about who her parents are, the best actress and actor of their time. No matter how little you do, you're above average. But what I love is Bing Bean's bearing. Cultured, elegant. At a young age, she must have been the most popular girl in school. I almost choked. Vining, the most popular. Nothing could be more wrong. Not only was she not the most popular, she was the girl everyone avoided, the feared leader of the entire school. I'll never forget the first time I saw her. It was pouring rain. Passersby ran down the street, but she sat on the sidewalk motionless as if she were dead. Only when I got closer did she look up. Her voice back then was fierce. "Get out." But I didn't leave. Instead, I put my umbrella over her head. That's how it all started, between Vining Bin and me. I shook my head to clear the memory. The set was very noisy. I went to the stairwell to rest for a moment, but as soon as I opened the door, I saw Beaning Bin standing in the darkness. He looked at me coldly. Just like that time, the stairwell was very dark and very quiet. I lowered my head to leave, but Vining Bin stopped me. "What do you do?" "Assistant director, recently graduated, and already working with director Sang." "You're quite good." "Thank you, Teacher Bay." "How old are you?" 25. She let out a small laugh. "We're the same age, and you call me teacher." The assistant director also calls her teacher by O, and she's 43. "So, tell me one more time." Reluctantly. Teacher B. In the darkness, I couldn't see her face very well, but it seemed like she was smiling, a cold smile, devoid of any emotion. I felt nervous inside, even though I hoped she wouldn't recognize me. Compared to 7 years ago, I was almost a different person. From a skinny little guy, I had become someone people called a pretty boy. Even my relatives barely recognized me. And on top of that, we were in the dark. Teacher, take a break. I'll be right back. Wait. He stopped me again. "What's your name?" "Feng Chen." "Have you used any other name?" "No." Vining Pin fell silent. I broke out in a cold sweat. I used to be called Fan Yao. Then I changed my name to Fan Xiaoyu, the nickname my deceased grandmother had given. She had cheated on me once. I was cheating on her now. We were even. During the summer vacation of my first year of high school, I picked up Vining Bean from a street corner. He said he had nowhere to go, that he had no family. I believed him. I thought he was just like me, a poor kid that no one wanted. As a child, after my parents divorced, each of them formed a new family and had another child. Neither of them loved me. They let me live in the basement of my aunt's house. I was very obedient from a young age because being obedient at least gave me something to eat. Bin Bean and I were completely different. I was introverted and quiet. Outside of studying, I knew nothing else. In the second year of high school, we were put in the same class. No one knew what family she was from. Rumors were that she had no parents and that she lived on the streets. At school, we were like strangers. But no one knew. Every night, Vining would knock on the basement window. I would give her a corner of the floor to sleep in. And before my aunt woke up, she would leave early as if she had never been there. Vining missed a lot of classes and always came home hurt every time I treated her wounds. "Fan Xiaoyu, can you be gentler?" Call me Xiao Yu. Xiao, mate, can you be gentler? Xiao Yu was my nickname, the one my late grandmother gave me. I preferred that name over Fan Xiao. Since Vining always came to sleep in the basement, I unconsciously began to think that she was more unfortunate than me. I also had an illusion when I forgot my textbook and was scolded by the teacher. Bennington walked from the last bench to the first and threw her book on my desk. Although I was young, I had developed late, was short, and was often bullied by students in other classes. Whenever I was at a loss for how to defend myself, Bennington would step in front of me. She was the one protecting me, not me protecting her. I was wrong to think that there was a special connection between us. I only understood this much later. Bennington was a second-generation industrialist. Her family owned countless properties and luxury cars. With just one shoe, she could buy me a whole season's worth of clothes. She only used me to make her family jealous. When I found out, it was around the day Luzhnian appeared. My thoughts were interrupted. When I got back to the set, a glass of milk tea was placed in my hand. Lingen came to visit the shooting and bought milk tea for everyone. Look how handsome. He and the best actress make a perfect couple. I looked into the distance. Vining was standing to the side, listening to what Luzhnian was telling him. Like everyone else, I couldn't take my eyes off that beautiful image. Suddenly, Bine seemed to sense something and looked straight at me. I lowered my head immediately. When I looked up again, she was no longer looking at me. Maybe it was just my imagination. Bing bing! When the shooting is over, come with me to Paris to watch the fashion show. Her voice was exactly the same as 7 years ago. I couldn't help but delve into the memories. In high school, Bining Bean and I had an absolutely chaste relationship as classmates. It wasn't until after the university exams in the summer that we started dating. Bining Bean wasn't enthusiastic, but she didn't reject me either. It was just that not a single sweet word came out of her mouth. In some ways, she was a good girlfriend, attentive, considerate, and gave me a lot of importance in front of others. Bining never introduced me to her friends. I once went to Villar's room to look for her. I wanted to surprise her, but she put on a serious face and said to me irritably, "Don't come here from now on." I didn't think much of it. I thought it was just her character. Until Luzhnian showed up, dressed in an expensive suit. His hair impeccable, like a ray of light in my world. Bing Bin, what are you doing here? I just bought a Ferrari. Let me give you a ride. The word Ferrari almost made my back twist. Lingen looked at me with puzzled eyes. Bing Bin, who is this? Hello, I'm Bing Bin's boyfriend. What are you kidding me about? How could she notice you, Bing Bin? I'm her future boyfriend. Our families have an engagement. Who says so? Bining Bin frowned and pushed Luzhin out with a firm voice. I didn't accept the engagement with him. His explanation was weak. Then Bining Bin's parents came to look for me, and that's when I understood everything. Bining Bean was second generation. Her family controlled almost half of the entertainment industry. Bining Bean had a bad relationship with her parents. By the way, she had transferred from an elite school to a regular one, and she didn't go back home either. Her parents were always traveling and didn't pay attention to their daughter. They didn't even know what she was up to. At the end of that conversation, Bingbin's father said to me, "Young Feng, you may not know this, but even though Ningyan is a girl, she's very rebellious. Being with you to make your family jealous, not because she really likes you, isn't the first time she's done something like this. If you don't believe me, look at how she treats Jinian. Who likes that JN? It's just that they've grown up together since they were little, and she hasn't realized her own feelings. Young Fang, you and we are not from the same world." Later I found out that father hadn't lied to me. Although he said in words that Luzhnian was annoying her, Baining Bin had a lot of patience with him. One time Luzhnian was making fun of me for being poor, and the next second, when Bing Bing showed up, she put on a victim's face. Bingyin, Fan Xiaoyu wanted to hit me. Fan Xiaoyu, I told you not to give her a reason. I understood at that moment. Bing Bin wasn't made of iron. He just didn't flourish for me. At the end of August, I accepted Luzhnian's conditions. Bing Bin's parents. With their funding, I would study abroad. Given my means, it was probably the only chance I would have to study abroad in my entire life. On the day of my departure, I told Bining Bean that I was going to buy chocolate. She opened her wallet automatically. Buy the most expensive one. I don't need your money. I'll be right back. Okay, I'll wait for you. And I never went back. Following Bing Bing's parents' instructions, I left a terrible breakup letter to break up for good. That first love of 3 months limited in time quietly faded away with the arrival of autumn. I changed my name and broke off contact with all my high school classmates. I didn't have much of a presence before, and I was even bullied quite a bit. I took advantage of the valuable opportunity to study and also learn to exercise and dress well with the name, appearance, and everything changed. And with the help of Vining Bee's parents to cover it up, she wouldn't be able to find me. To her, it was as if I were dead. But I didn't stop hearing things from Bingbin. After I left, she decided. Repeating her senior year of high school, she entered a film academy and made her acting debut. She rose steadily in the ranks. In front of the camera, she was sweet and elegant. Her smile captivated her fans. There was no trace of who she had been. I thought, people change. I had changed too. By the end of the day's work, I was exhausted, but my colleagues seemed full of energy. Oh my gosh, this photo is amazing. What's trending in Buying Bean's new photo shoot? I peeked in to take a look. A spontaneously taken photo was causing quite a stir. Buying Bean stared ahead silently, looking distinguished. But deep in his eyes, a red flame burned, wild and crazy. What impressed me the most was that at the edge of the photo, in the direction she was looking, there was a blurred silhouette of me. The next day, Adi, the lead actor, had an accident and had to go to the hospital. It was a crucial scene of the encounter between the protagonists, and they couldn't waste any time. The director urgently found a double. I was at the edge of the group, but Buying Bean's gaze went straight to me. I'm in a hurry. The director didn't object and urged me to change into the protagonist's clothes. I just had to go out with my back turned. But to avoid any trouble, the makeup artist, she put makeup on me anyway. When I stood in front of Bingbin, she had a moment of self-discovery. "You're so nervous." "I've never acted before." "You don't have to act. Just listen to me." She added, "Relax. If you're tense, your body will stiffen up and it will show on camera. Yes, you can take a deep breath to calm yourself down." "Thank you, teacher. Bye." The cameras are pointed at me now. You just have to listen to my lines. "Oh, and one more thing." She paused. I looked up. "What else?" "One more thing. Where's my chocolate?" She said it syllable by syllable, and deep in her eyes there was something very sharp. Nothing like how it used to be. She slowly extended her hand. "Xiao Yu, it's been 7 years. You should have it ready by now. I'm done." That was my first thought. Vining had sincerely recognized me from the beginning. Coincidentally, the scene was also the protagonist's passionate declaration to the protagonist after a long reunion. For a moment, I thought that was what she wanted to say to me, but that was impossible. The real Vining Bean had never spoken words of love to me. When we finished filming, the director gave me a thumbs up. "Xiaofeng, you have a natural acting ability. Your gaze was perfect." Maybe we were both acting out of character. For the following scenes, Vining Bing specifically requested to work with me. My head hurt. Vining had too many interests at stake. Even the director himself couldn't afford to contradict her. Choosing me was clearly a form of revenge. I was promoted from assistant to coordinator, Bing Bean's sole coordinator, 18 hours a day revolving around her. But I didn't just do coordinator work. For example, when 3 annoying people had to be moved and I rolled up my sleeves to help, Vining Pin grabbed my arm. "Go buy me some milk tea." Not just milk tea. She also ordered lots of snacks. They could have been ordered to go, but she insisted that I fetch them myself. However, to tell the truth, my colleagues were very envious of me. I could go out for a fee. But when I returned with the snacks, Vining Bean no longer felt like eating them. A week went by working for Vining Bean and somehow I gained weight. Eventually, even my colleagues noticed. "Don't you think he does this on purpose to feed you?" "Impossible. But he spoils you too much." Vining is very demanding. He has scolded all the previous coordinators, but he has never said anything to you. It's not that big of a deal. If he doesn't make me suffer, I'll be fine. I denied it outright. The rumors within the team reached Lu Hingnian's ears. Lingnian came running over. "You are Bingvin's new assistant." I corrected him. "Such a young coordinator will surely manage." "Mr. Lu, please don't judge by appearances." Lingnian stared at me for a long time. "We haven't met before." "Perhaps you are mistaken. I have no interest in reminiscing about the old days with the great Mr. Lu." I continued to organize my notes. Lu Hingnian let out a snort. I've seen many like you on the filming crews. Don't think that because Bin values you, you have a chance to climb the ladder. I advise you to know your place, or you'll end up hurting yourself." "What does he mean by that?" "You look a bit like Bingbin's ex-boyfriend." He said that and waited for my reaction. He thought I would be shocked or disgusted, but I looked at him with confusion. "He's using you as a substitute. It's not like he truly values you. Bin hates that man." "Don't get your hopes up." I put down what I had in my hands and looked at him with a smile. If he hates him, why look for a substitute? Jin Nian was speechless. When he left, my heart was at rest. Bin Bean hates me. Of course, it was to be expected. That night, Bin Bean sent me a message asking me to bring him some medicine. With the principle of not making enemies of the lead actress, I went to buy it and brought it to him. I thought he just wanted to annoy me a little, but the truth is that he was sick. His forehead, he was sweating. "What's wrong with you?" "Your stomach and your assistant went to the city. She can't come back." "Weird." "Vining? Bing didn't have stomach problems before. How did your stomach get upset?" "The year I repeated my senior year of high school. I didn't eat well." "Why didn't you eat?" "Because there was no one to leave me food." He looked at me with half-lidded eyes. That reminded me of when Vining Bin would come to the basement to sleep. I would always leave her some food. By the time I finished doing my homework, she would have finished every last grain of rice. "You're a horrible cook," he said, his usual disposition. I saw a table full of freshly arrived, still steaming dishes. "You can eat with your stomach like this." What a shame to waste it. "We've been eating the team's food for days now, and I'm starving. Can you let me eat?" He said casually. "If you don't eat it, throw it away for me." I broke the disposable chopsticks and sat down at the table. I ate in silence. The room was silent. I thought Vining Bean had fallen asleep, but when I turned around, he was looking at me with a smile on his lips. Only when our eyes met, the smile disappeared, and that expression returned, as if the whole world owed him something without any change. The two of us remained silent, without saying anything to each other. As I was leaving, Vining Pin suddenly spoke up. "Lennon and I have no relationship. We didn't before, we didn't now, and we won't have any in the future." "Si Selba," I nodded politely. "But Master Bay? I don't care about that anymore." That sentence made Vining Bean frown for several days in a row. I didn't care. Nevertheless, we were very close to finishing filming, but just before the last week, serious accident occurred. In the middle of a scene filmed on a boat, the sound technician went to the bathroom. I paused work and stood on the edge of the deck, holding a boom microphone taller than me. I lost my balance a little, staggered, and a gust of wind knocked me into the water. There was a lake below, and I could swim. In the chaos, I heard a shrill scream toward the lake. Vin Pin jumped straight into the water. He grabbed me tightly, as if he would never let go. After that, I didn't remember anything else. I woke up in an unfamiliar room. On the bedside table was a handwritten note. This is my house. It's not far from the set. I've already asked for a few days off. Rest if you need clothes. In the dressing room, there are men's clothes that I had bought. The handwriting was unmistakably Bingbin's. Many actors have houses near the lake. According to the gossip I had read, she lived here most of the time. The house was very clean. I entered the dressing room, and the first thing that caught my eye was a black umbrella. It was the umbrella I had given to Binding Bean many years ago. It was old and of poor quality, but it was placed right in the middle of the dressing room. I suddenly remembered that day of torrential rain. I had covered Binding Bean from the wind and rain with that umbrella, but she kept trying to chase me away. I don't know where I got the courage. I opened her sleeve and checked her wound. She wanted to say something bad, but she held it back. Thank goodness we don't have to go to the hospital. Wait, I'll go buy some medicine. I'll be right back. I put the umbrella in her hand. Go ahead, go. 10 minutes later, I returned with medicine and food. The rain had soaked me to the bone. She looked at me silently. From that day on, Binding Bean never said a bad word to me again. I only found out later. That day she had been very surprised because no one in her life had ever gone there and come back. I was the first. I finished reminiscing and looked for the clothes to change into. I hadn't even put on my shirt when the changing room door slammed open. Binding and I looked at each other, a little awkwardly. She quickly retreated. You're not making any noise. I thought you had left again. Don't yell at me. Vin Pin was speechless for a moment. All her irritation dissolved. That phrase used to be very effective. Every time Binding Bean lost his temper, I would say to him softly, "Don't yell at me," and it worked. To my surprise, it still worked. Besides, you're not one to complain. Why did you come into the changing room without knocking? I didn't know you were in. Her cheeks turned red. I didn't see anything. If you're upset, I apologize. I'm sorry. I had already noticed before that Vinbin, despite her stubborn and strong nature, was surprisingly candid about certain things. It's okay, I'm just a little tired. I said it without thinking and then added, it's not like I haven't seen it before. The moment I said it, I realized it wasn't appropriate. And sure enough, Binding Bean bit her lip, and everything from her neck to her face turned red. I quickly changed the subject. Come on, you don't have any scenes. I'm done. I'm going to boil rice with water. Then take your medicine. She had a slight fever because of falling into the water. When Binding Pin brought the rice, she was still wearing her apron. I couldn't help but stare at her. You look so sweet in the apron. What did you say? I said thank you. Binding Bean's eyes lit up for a moment, but his tone remained brusque. Eat all the rice. Don't waste it. What else do you want to eat? I can make it for you if I try. Don't bother. Mind your own business. I don't have any scenes tomorrow morning. I won't go back to the set tonight. I have time to prepare the ingredients. Besides, you're staying here tonight. I'm going to the side room. The side room doesn't have a bed or extra bedding. If you're sick, stay in bed. Don't beat yourself up. Binding Bean pointed to the floor as before. I lay on the floor. At midnight, I woke up again. Binding Bean had barely slept. Every now and then I would change the wet towel on my forehead. With the fever, I started to get disoriented. And between dreams and wakefulness, I thought I was back in that small basement. Binding Bean was sleeping on the floor several meters away from me, keeping my distance. The table between us prevented me from. I couldn't see her face clearly. I could only make out her thin back. She got sick once, but she endured it without saying anything. At midnight, I realized something was wrong. Her forehead was burning. I looked for medicine for her fever and wiped her face over and over again. Binding suddenly reached out and grabbed me. She held on to me for a long time, as if she was afraid I would leave. Only when she fell asleep did she let go. That was the closest we had before graduation. Most of the time, we were like strangers passing each other in the hallway without looking at each other. I had a restless night. The next day, when I woke up, Binding Ningbin was gone. She had been called to film, but there was food prepared on the table and a box of chocolates, the most expensive ones, in the center. I was halfway through eating when someone came in. I thought it was Bingbin, but it was a strange woman. I remembered her. She was her manager. Also her best friend. The manager looked at me in astonishment. You tell me in explanations. He was just the team coordinator. What's your name? You can call me Fan Xiao. He jumped as if he had been shocked. Fanu, is that you? Seeing me confused, V continued. Ningin was looking for you like crazy. She couldn't find you, and then she self-destructed. She didn't eat or sleep. She was at the lowest point in her life. It's great that she found you. She can rest easy. After 7 years, she can finally stop making herself suffer. Are you kidding me? We only dated for 3 months. It's not that hard to forget. What? No? Don't you know Binding Bean became an actress because of you? She hated that profession since she was little because of her parents. They repeatedly suggested her debut. She always turned them down. But right after she broke up with you, she suddenly said she wanted to be an actress. She said it was because you liked movies. If she was an actress, ver to see, she would be able to stand in the brightest and highest place for you to see her. I was paralyzed. Yes, there was something like that. One night when I couldn't sleep, we were whispering to each other. 2. Vin Bin, are you asleep? No, I watched a movie today, The Shawshank Redemption. It's amazing. I'm not interested. I want to make movies someday too. But it costs a lot of money, doesn't it? Too bad I don't have any. Movies don't cost that much. I thought she didn't understand anything. I told her no and didn't bring it up again, but it turns out she did remember everything. The manager sighed. After 3 months, you're on her mind forever. Bing Bin came back in the afternoon. She asked her manager, what did you come for? To clean up a bit, eh? Since you're gonna finish filming. No need. Go. Oh, and get some rest now. Don't make any more commitments. Friends who disappear from sight when you find a partner. You cried in front of me earlier when you couldn't find one. Bin interrupted her awkwardly. Don't say that in front of my boyfriend. I corrected her. Ex-boyfriend. Since you didn't tell me in person, it doesn't count as a breakup. I wrote you a letter. A letter. I don't even know if you wrote it. You. Who, if you didn't give the exclusive or not. I'll find out for myself. I ran out of arguments. Vining Pin went to wash fruit. I kept insisting. All you need to do to break up is for one person to agree. Agree or not, we've had nothing in common for quite some time. Vining Bean stopped dead in his tracks and turned around. Then I'll court you. It won't do any good. Vining, you're mad at me because I cheated on you. Whether from my origin or the Lujan affair because I didn't explain it to you in time. Both and neither. Vining, you and I are not from the same world. There's no point in forcing things. The room fell completely silent. I don't know how much time passed. Her eyes were bloodshot and she said in a plaintive voice, well, I don't care about a daughter. Anyway, I insist. I didn't pay attention to Vining Bin's words. When the shooting was over, I went back to my hometown. My aunt's old house was going to be demolished, and she asked me to go and help with the furniture. My aunt, although she always favored her own children when I was little, had raised me after all. I wasn't going to be ungrateful. On my way back, I passed my old high school. The classrooms had been renovated a few years ago, and the appearance had changed a lot. I stood at the door for a while, and suddenly someone called out to me. Hey, I remember I in the same class as Bin, right? She was a cleaning lady, about my age. Were you in this school? I had a fight with Vining Bean before. By the way, you're alone today. And Vining Bean? He didn't follow you. I always shuddered. What was he following me? Yes. Every day when I got out of class at night, Vining would follow you from behind, and I would see you coming home. Didn't he? Did you know? I couldn't believe it. The girl continued. The time I fought with her, she suddenly stopped and said she had to go back to school. I thought that was really weird. I followed her and saw her waiting at the door for a long time. She waited for you to come out and followed you until you got home. Then she came to look for me. I learned later that she was afraid that her bad reputation would harm you and wanted to keep you safe. The girl pointed to a corner. She was waiting there by that banana tree. The 17-year-old Vining, who liked black so much, blended into the night. A gust of wind blew by, and it was as if she was still there. At my aunt's house, while we were emptying the basement, we took out the bed where I slept, the desk I used. Document 2. Xiao I found something? Come quickly. She pointed to a corner on the floor. It's covered in your name. That girl carved it, right? The one who became an actress. How did you know? Oh, she came to look for me. Do you remember? I found something here once, and I scolded you so much. How stubborn you were, you wouldn't let on. I struggled to tell you you weren't that kind of boy. My aunt felt a bit nostalgic when she remembered. The day I scolded you, that girl was leaning out the window and saw everything. Then she came to look for me privately, knelt before me, and begged for forgiveness. She begged me not to blame you. I grabbed the back of a chair. I had trouble breathing. I was afraid that she would corrupt you, and I strictly forbade her from setting foot here again. That's how it was. Towards the end of the second year of high school, Vining Bean stopped coming to the basement. He told me that he had found a place to stay. In reality, he did it so that he wouldn't hurt me. The worn marks on the floor meant that Vining Bean also had nights when he couldn't sleep. Vining kept quiet, but deep down inside he called out to me 1,000 times. The day before the demolition, I walked from the school gate to my aunt's house, as I had so many times. The familiar path was covered with plane trees, shadow. I reached the end where the small basement window was visible, and as if there was a telepathic connection, ooh! I turned around. Vining Bean, wearing a mask, was across the street. 20 minutes later, we sat down at the usual restaurant. After finishing filming, I hadn't picked up any of his calls. Still, he found me. Next to the restaurant was the usual pool hall. Watching the people come and go, I wanted an answer. Vin Bean, I came here to look for you that summer. You were so angry and kicked me out. Do you know how much that hurt me? Vining Bean was taken aback for a moment. I wasn't angry. It's just that at that moment I was scared and very nervous. That pool hall wasn't a good place. The girls I was with were trying to hurt me. When you showed up, I was so scared. I was afraid that they would target you. Vining frowned, searching for the right words. I'm so sorry. I was so nervous that I made you misunderstand me. At that moment, our number. I told Vining Bin to buy some water on the way. The moment she walked away, a group of women surrounded me. Handsome, can I have your contact? The girl you were with is your girlfriend. Why is she eating with a mask? What's wrong with her? I looked at them coldly. Get away. What a genius. Do you know who you're talking to? We're the ones in charge in this area. The one who was acting as the leader reached out to touch me. The next second she let out a scream of pain. I was twisting her wrist. I don't hit women. Just then, Vining Bin returned. I did. Vining Bin dropped her entire pose and image. She exuded a terrifying strength. I glared at her. She was my usual Binjin, but I had to stop her. She had a special identity now. She couldn't get involved in fights. Although Vining Bin glared at them, determined to get justice. I pulled on her hand. Come on, don't yell at me. Vining Bin froze instantly. It was as if a river of water had washed her from the inside out. All her strength left her, and even her edges became smooth. Well, that's it. Bangin' Pin. My heart was beating at full gallop in my ears. The last time I heard it like that, It was also because of her. The youthful excitement she provoked in me, and at that moment she seemed like that stubborn girl from back then. We ran to my aunt's house and went into the basement, which was already empty, waiting for the demolition the next day. Even the light had gone out. Only the moonlight came in. Saw. Hole. We spoke at the same time and then decided that I would speak first. You accompanied me home every day. Yes. I used to have a very bad temper. I had made many enemies and I was worried that I would go alone. Why didn't you tell me at the time? Why tell you? He smiled. You had to study for your exams. Study well, I'll take care of the rest. I pointed to the letters carved into the floor. And what? What does this mean? I like you? I was silent for a moment. When I was 18, you never told me. Vining lowered his eyes and spoke slowly, because he didn't know how to say it back then. Bingbin's past was special. He had parents, but it was as if he didn't have them. Growing up in such a cold relationship, no one taught him how to love someone or how to express love. Vining thought that being always available, spending money on me when, was like a declaration. When I confessed, Wuna, she was actually happy. Wuna, but because she wasn't used to being loved or to intimacy, Wuna, she was very passive. Vining practiced in front of the mirror saying, I like you, but it felt very forced and she couldn't say it. He wrote it. He learned by folding paper cranes. Inside each one he put a like, thinking he would give them to me for my birthday. Unfortunately, that day never came. Later, when he started acting and living different lives, he finally learned to express himself, but the person he wanted to tell was no longer there. I was silent for a while and continued asking. Illingen Vining Pin shook her head. I was attentive to him because he once saved my life. How? When I was little, my parents ignored me. He was the only one who would come to pick me up from play. Once I got very sick with a fever. He was the first to notice. He cried and kicked until the adults noticed and took me to the doctor. The doctor said that if they arrived a little later, my brain would have been damaged. Since then, I promised him that I would treat him like an older brother, and I have done so for all these years. But that summer there was something else too. Lujan threatened me. She said that if I didn't take him to us, I would go and tell my parents so they would dislike you. My parents believed him a lot, and if I exaggerated things, it would harm you. Besides, I didn't trust my parents' attitude. If they took me with ill will towards you, perhaps they would have maneuvered so that you wouldn't even be able to enter university. So I endured it. That's why you told me not to give him any reason to provoke me. Yes, I understand what you meant. Lingen accused you of provoking him, but I didn't believe a word he said. I just wanted you to have no contact with him. That way I would be safe. I was a little embarrassed. I didn't think you would get such a wrong impression. Actually, you could have asked me directly. Looking back on the past, my heart was stirred. She didn't know how to love. And I did. No, I didn't know either. Abandoned time and time again by my own parents, I lost the courage to complain. In my world, only by studying and working well would I get a word of praise every now and then, and that would stop them from complaining. Abandon me. So in front of Bing, I would rather be heartbroken than demand a single word from him. Much less, get angry. Not knowing how to express myself, a defect we both had in common. The moon was liquid above us, but I had one thing left to clarify. I went abroad with your parents. Money. I figured. Actually, I could have stayed too, but it might have been the only chance I had in my entire life to study abroad. I was selfish for once. I understand. Vining smiled an extraordinarily tender smile. Xiao Yu, you are too good. I wish you were a little more selfish, so that the outside world wouldn't hurt you. From now on, work comes first for me? No problem. I'll follow you. You are the best actress in the country. You have a bright future ahead of you. Why follow me? Even being a better actress comes from you. We only dated for 3 months. Vining had plenty of initiative. The day after clearing up the misunderstandings, he posted on Bebo that we were together. I still love him. 3 months for all a lifetime. The trending topic almost collapsed. Everyone was talking about it. I was very worried that Vining Bean's parents would cause trouble again, but I worried too much. Vining was 25 years old. Even if her parents didn't agree on what to do with her character, they couldn't interfere in any of her decisions. Maybe 7 years ago, they couldn't control her either, and that's why they turned to me. I lost to my own insecurity. When Vining made it public, another person also jumped into the trending topics. That same day, Luhin Nian came to me furiously. I finally understand where I had seen you. So you're Fanyo? Yes. And break up with Bin Pin. Now, I'm the one who made the commitment. Also, have you seen what they're saying on the internet? They call you a kept man. You stuck your nose between me and Vining Bin. You need to end this relationship and return her now, or lose your job. What feelings do you and I have? I don't understand. Vining suddenly spoke behind Luzhnian's back. Lingnian was upset. Bingen, how did you let this poor guy suck your guts out again? Speak nicely. Vining. Bin slammed the table violently, his tone threatening. You said you would treat me like a sister. Why are you disrespecting me? I have been more than patient. A brother shouldn't aspire to another role. If he does, we can even be friends anymore. Lingen had never spoken to him like that. He said, out of his mind, Buying Bing, you've been bewitched. I'm gonna hold a press conference. That kept man wouldn't get a clean name. Vane narrowed his eyes. Do it and don't expect her to be considerate. Luzhin Nian left, but a week later I learned that the press conference was held anyway. Binding Pin didn't stop her completely, but she prepared to handle the crisis. Only the press conference didn't go as expected. Lujan appeared in front of the cameras with impeccable clothes, but more expensive and slow. Today I want to clarify something. There is no such thing as a sister between Vining B and me. Engagement. The audience gasped. Everyone had come expecting a scandal. Binding Bean and I grew up together because our families had a business relationship, but she sees me as an older brother, and I see her as a younger sister. The engagement is nothing more than a rumor. Neither of us consented to it. Our families only mentioned it in passing without any validity. I have never had romantic feelings for Bingbin, nor she for me. And then she added, he is Bingbin's first love. For having judged him before based on appearances, I sincerely apologize. Public opinion turned around instantly. Netizens dug up some arrogant comments that Lingen had made in the past and criticized them harshly. But the positive thing was that Binding Bin did not have to use any of the PR measures she had prepared. I wondered how she had changed her attitude overnight. Binding Bin smiled. If she did not change, the two families would not even be able to continue doing business. Now I am the one who has the most weight in the family, and the company is also on my mind, hands. Lingen was given out of convenience. Half a year later, Binding Bin's father fell ill. He could no longer work. His mother canceled most of her engagements to stay home and take care of him. Vining, on the other hand, was making good progress in his career. With power in his hands, the elders could not interfere in any of his decisions. The Vin, who finally understood everything, was like a different person. The more she lacked something, the more she wanted to make up for it. Half of her baboon talked about me. She also mentioned me on TV shows. When I was young, I was a rebellious girl. It was my boyfriend who pulled me out of the darkness and showed me a ray of light, although it had its after effects. If he couldn't find me, Binding Bin would immediately get nervous, terrified that I would leave again. Sometimes, in the middle of the night, she would hug me and not want to let go while repeating my name over and over again. The imposing best actress that everyone knew before me was a girl who liked to make fun of me. She would call me by my name over and over again, and it made me think of the letters carved into the dust. At 27, Vining Bean and I went back to high school together. Youth is like the seasons. There's always someone young, there's always someone who's faced with something new and doesn't know what to do. In front of the classroom back then, there was a huge banana tree. We stood under the tree listening to the voices of the students reading aloud. Vingin, even if I didn't return, he would have returned. So sure, that day you came back. That's why I know you'd come back this time too. I'm the only person in your life who went and came back, and I still am. We stood under the classroom window. Vining stood on tiptoe and kissed me. Xiaoyu, I love you. When I was 18, I picked up a wayward girl who no one wanted. Today marks 10 years since I found her, and it's also the first day we got married. If someone ever asks me what love is, I'll tell them it's the walk home from school, the nights we spent with each other, and a journey full of happiness.